Welcome to the channel. We're doing,
Dangerous radioactive wastelands.
yes, mystical
Uh,
and cosmic sounds. So, what do you say? So, yeah, mystical is more quasi-religious, or at least what I picked. And cosmic, I have a really great example. It's galactic, and join me as we search for the black hole. Um, anyway,
It's
you can find this kind of music in so many different genres.
I didn't go to the place where I was sort of most inclined to go, which is the P-Funk galaxy,
Hmm.
because they've got this whole interstellar thematic going on there, and all kinds of off-color puns with the various uh, black holes and so on and so forth populating the galaxy. And but no, I went in the opposite direction to very white music, I suppose. That's another one of the reaches of the cosmos, is this kind of spectral void where these white wraiths appear and sort of like in a Clive Barker movie or something.
I went pretty much exactly where I would have guessed I'd go if you had asked me just theoretically. Um, I picked in sort of an all-time classic for me and a recent favorite, separated by 54 years.
All right, so I'm going for the real cornerstone of the cosmic here, to my mind, and probably to many other people's minds too, although it, well, may not have occurred to them. Space Ritual by Hawkwind. I mean, how can you get any more cosmic than that?
You
These guys,
cannot.
you know, you can't. It's a really speedy kind of space where you're sort of high on the cosmic dust, chasing a comet's tails. But they really have it all here. It's post-hippie psychedelic music, so there's lots of space in that sense, but it's revved up and propulsive in a 70s kind of style, anticipating punk and metal. You've got flute, you've got saxophone, you've got spoken word poetry, fueled by the late great Lemmy Kilmister on bass. Hawkwind, of course, should need no introduction, but if anyone out there doesn't know them, this is a great place to start. They were, yeah, a psychedelic band that continues to exist in some form or another to this day, right? Light shows, nude dancers, flutes, and lots of speedy LSD. My second choice is something that is a bit unlikely because it's satanic space metal. Inquisition, ominous doctrines of the perpetual macrocosm. And here, if I can read any of the lyric or any of the song titles in this, archaic Gothic script, astral path to supreme majesties, cosmic invocation rites, upon the fire winged demon, crepuscular battle hymn for a dead star across the abyss, ancient horns. Bray. That's a good. How often do you get to hear the word bray really in any context, let alone a musical one? So anyway, Inquisition by now are sort of they're an institution, I guess. They've been around for about 20 years, and they're two guys who just make this relentlessly uh, punishing, sort of immortal-like thrash-derived two-man. Heavy black metal, but with the most distinctive thing probably being the vocals, which are like a sort of possessed toad or something. So it's a very strangely organic kind of sound that they have. And again, it's strangely cosmic too, because They are, in effect, building these sort of exploring these huge empty spaces, and it's just the music is very evocative of big sepulchral voids. Also, great cover art in the sort of Trapper Keeper vein, skull over this kind of cosmic vaginal opening. So I highly recommend Ominous Doctrines of the Perpetual Mystical Macrocosm. Yeah, Inquisition.
All right. My first record is Alice Coltrane's Journey in Satchidananda from 1970. So, and in 1970, Alice Coltrane was 3 years out from the death of her husband, John. And this was her fourth record, so she was establishing herself as a solo artist, you know, as a sort of genius in her own right. It was abundantly clear by this point. Um, and this record itself, this is one of my absolute favorites, probably. Um, it's ethereal at times, but it's also like really earthy and grounded. So you've got, she plays the harp and the piano, and there's a beauty to it, and then but there's also a heavy rhythm section. Rashida Lee on drums, Cecil McBee and Charlie Hayden on bass alternately, and you've got Pharoah Sanders on the saxophone. So this is a heavy all-star cast for this record. Um, and while it gets a little free every so often, but it is not an out record at all. This is essentially a spiritual jazz record, but it's got this fusion of, there's modal jazz and blues and drone and Indian and Middle Eastern music. It flies high, it grooves really hard at times. It is a calming record and it's an ecstatic record. So can't recommend it highly enough. Second choice. Lamp of the Universe's, what does that say? Kaleidoscope Mind. It's from last year, I believe. Um, and so this guy, and I say just guy because this is a one-man band. Um, it's this guy from New Zealand named Craig Williamson. And he's been in a bunch of bands, most of them space rock or stoner metal related. Sometimes these records are kind of heavy, sometimes they're quite drony, sometimes it's very, very got an acid folk kind of feel to it. Often there's, Eastern quote unquote sounds in there, tabla, sitar, drones, that kind of thing. There's always a cosmic vibe, a sense of ritual. There is absolutely a Hawkwind influence on the heavier of these, is maybe the heaviest Lamp of the Universe record. None of these songs drift, instead they drive. Like they're pushed on by strong melodies, and pretty strong rhythm, overlaid by really nice, sort of acidic guitar leads, and on this album, flute, which is a really nice addition. Um, so it's not too hard to find stuff like this out there, but it's rarely is it done as well as Lamp of the Universe does it. Uh, so that's my second. Jackson, what do you got?
So I have this band, Malachi, and which
Oh,
is Hebrew for, I guess, something like messenger angel. This is titled Holy Music, subtitled Evening Variations from 1967 on Verve. And it seems that they did everything on a Wednesday in August, and there are no song titles except for this is the second take. This is the sixth take, fourth take. So it reminds me of what Sandy Bull did with his improvisations, which he called blends. It's sort of like that. And also in the fact that he is mixing East and West influences. In this case, it's Indian and American indigenous. So it's got sort of the pounding drums of indigenous music, and he actually uses a Jew's harp, which is sort of similar in tone to the sitar. So it's very lean in its instrumentation. It's like slow building, lots of hand drums, two guitars overlaid, thumb piano, and maybe some high flutes. It's also intimate because it's got voices and then chanting, and then that Jew's harp that comes in, and they're very reliant on that. It's more of a mantra than a raga, but it is pure psychedelia. And I consider this very mystical, and like the inner gatefold is like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I keep it in my ambient contemporary classical section because the overall effect is somewhat ambient. And I also have Miege. Can you see that? Yeah. So Miege is just Jim spelled backwards. This guy's Jim Holdenberg. This is called The Yodeling Astrologer from 1969. And evidently, he was busking at Washington Square in New York City, and the guys from ESP Disc came by, and they just took him into the studio, and he made this record. ESP Disc is known for their sort of outside music, like Albert Ayler, Patty Walters. But anyway, they put tons of echo and reverb on this. As far as yodeling, he's maybe yodeling on one song, but it's mostly just whistling and vocalese. It's a psych folk record. There are definite songs throughout, but it's very primitive. It's breezy and frenzied, and it's got titles like Two Stars, Grok, Martian Love Call, Planet of a Flower. But there's no astrological theme at all. So that's good, actually. It's a novel 60s hangover, avant folk, hippie music record. And it's memorable because got a lo-fi ethereal sound ambience and is transportive to these wilder times where LSD was free and in the Kool-Aid. It's stoned and it has cryptic mystery. And I recommend it to only those who are interested in the fringes of psych folk. I consider it cosmic, and I keep it in my outsider section. African night in the desert, looking for gophers. Bark like a monkey. No.
I'd bark like a monkey if I had any.
Singer, the rock and roll nurse, going to make it worse.
Going to my head, rock and roll nurse, this sleazy, self-indulgent behavior. It was somebody, a producer, assembling a sound. So it's a totally synthetic thing, in the sense, like in the sense of a synthesizer. Giorgio Moroder was
Ring my bell, motherfucker.
blunt and dumb without being too dumb. No Wave Sprunk or Studio 54 Disco, I guess. Teenage Jesus and the Jerks.
That is a character fault. Joe Strummer, you're a bird-killing bummer.
Bird killing.
Burnt,
Kill.
burnt.
Kill. I like the song that you can't say the name of anymore.
I like to blow. I like to blow.
50 monkeys sitting on 50 typewriters at some point. Amphetamine-laden rants.
Us mammals have to stick together.
That's right. Because if I would have had and went and took the easy way, it wouldn't be the strong person that I am today, as the rap song goes. It's Goody Mob